Hello, everyone. My name's Addison Beam, and I will be talking about climate action in Sweden, or I will be covering that SDG um, from in Sweden for climate action. Okay, so to begin, let's start out with the greenhouse gas emissions in Sweden. So, for starter, greenhouse gases are gases they get released into the atmosphere that raise the temperature of the planet, such as Earth, and that is where global warming comes into play. Um, in the year 2021, Sweden produced around 65 million tons of greenhouse gases. If you compare it to years past, back in 19 around in the 1970s, it was at its peak in around like 110 tons, but then it eventually dropped due to awareness of it. So, next is the annual CO2 emissions. CO2 is carbon dioxide, um, and its emissions from fossil fuels and industries. And as the graph shows, um, Sweden has emitted around 35 million tons of CO2 into the atmosphere in 2021, which is a very big difference from the 1970s. And the reason of the drop is because of more and more awareness as time has gone. So here you can see that there's two different graphs. There's one, or these graphs both show CO2 emissions per capita. One is only in Sweden, and then in the graph to the right, I compared Sweden to the United States CO2 emissions. And as you can see, there's a very big difference in CO2 emissions per capita. Um, and basically, what that means is that it's per capita how much of fossil fuels are being burned. And um, as you can see, the United States has almost 10, um, 10 tons or 10 million tons more than Sweden. Okay, so I decided to include this because it kind of follows along with the last couple graphs, or the first two at least, um, about how in the 1970s Sweden had a very high emissions rate, and then as time went on, it went down, but that was due to the mainstreaming of sustainable development like education. And as you can see, in 2020, Sweden had a 0.81 rating, which is almost the best rating you can have for um, education. And basically, this image shows how Sweden integrated the teaching of how sustainable or how to be sustainable into their curricular. Um, and based on the graphs, Sweden seems to be one of the least at distributing, or the best at distributing information among the countries that have provided data. And so, lastly, this is my mind map. So, Internet of Things to fight climate control. I said increase awareness through the internet, make people more aware, uh, develop energy efficient machines for agriculture and such, and then help develop cleaner and greener packaging, such as eliminate plastics and other harmful materials, and then also focusing on smart devices, or developing smart devices to become more clean and efficient. And that is my presentation. Thank you.